great. So, Sakura, thank you so much for joining us here at our bar tonight
Thank you for having me.
and releasing Don't Overthink It, the EP.
Yes. My first EP, Don't Overthink It. Yes, it's out.
Awesome. So, how long have you been working on this project?
Well, the songs have been collected over 2 years of writing, and it was pretty much conceptualized maybe about 4 months ago in about, I think, March-ish. And from March, it was pretty much final touches up until June. So it's about 2 years in the making, basically.
Okay, so that's a pretty healthy time, definitely, for an EP. Quite an interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
But first, before we actually get into that, I wanted to just go back on your name. You were actually correcting me and telling me the exact way and how to say your name. And I wanted you to share that, of course.
Oh, yeah. And if you don't know me, my name is Sakura. It's a Japanese word that means cherry blossom. A lot of people pronounce it Sakura or Sakura, but I normally say Sakura.
And Sakura, that's what we're going to say today.
Okay.
Okay. Make people understand and say your name exactly how it's supposed to be.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, being said, you're Japanese.
Yes, I am half Japanese.
So, is there any Japanese influence that we'll hear in your music or your style?
Sonically, not so much. But more so towards like the imagery. I lean towards going into like a floral, earthy, and green imagery for a lot of my designs.
Yes, that's awesome. I actually noticed that on your the few pictures that you actually have on Instagram, though. So, and you do your own designs.
Yes.
You did touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I just wanted to make
lot
sure.
of, pretty much all of the designs that have come along with this project, I've been hands-on for it, from like the flyers, design
to the menus.
To the menus, to a lot of my promo videos. It was edited, filmed by me, and it was just a lot of love going into my work.
Wow, absolutely. And even these drinks, I actually do love. I have the rumor tonight, so you guys make sure. I know you see the menus all around, so pretty much grab a drink from the menu.
And then I have the prayer. My favorite one actually is the bad boy. It's easy. It's so easy to drink.
You know what? You look like the person that would like the bad boy, but we would expect not to like the bad boy.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay.
You read me.
I thought about that when I first seen it. I was like, okay, this is interesting, and I definitely want to get into those, but I wanted to start at the beginning. So how did your musical journey start?
It started officially when I was a freshman in college. I decided to order some bits of equipment to actually start writing my music. But my love for music has always been within me. I grew up in a musical household. My father was a producer, and I just remember envisioning myself performing as a child. And it's always been my dream, so it really just took me saying that I want to do this and I want to make my life out of music.
And you play the guitar as well. Did you learn the guitar before you started to sing? What came first? The writing, the singing, the guitar?
The singing.
Okay.
I've always been in choir throughout school, and it really took me learning guitar, learning piano on separate occasions for me to actually write my own songs. So the singing came first, then the guitar writing, and then the songwriting.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you describe and I know artists get this all the time, but how would you describe yourself as an artist? And is there a vision or a mission behind the music that you create?
Well, to that question, I really just want to inspire anyone that listens to my music. I try to be as honest as possible with my songwriting. I try to be as honest with myself. My music to me is a healing process, and whatever I'm kind of having a hard time with, I let it out through song. And as long as I'm honest and as long as I can inspire someone, that's what makes me the happiest.
And that's awesome that, of course, you're making music to inspire others, but what inspires you along your musical journey?
Listening to a lot of other people express themselves. I think self-expression through creativity in all sorts of forms is really what drives me. It's really what makes me want to be a better person. It makes me want to just inspire other people. So it's really the people that I surround myself with and a lot of the artists who have kind of stepped forth before me.
So I know this is kind of a cheat question or a question leading into the next question, or the whole reason why we're here, rather. How did the pandemic affect your creativity?
To be honest, I feel like I was at a standstill because I really didn't know what to do. We had just kind of gone from performing a lot to just not being outside at all. I felt stuck. I felt like I didn't know where the next steps would be. And to be honest, I really enjoyed the time to actually take a break and to step back and to just dissect what I am dealing with and what I need to learn to take the next steps forward. So I'm really appreciative that this time that we've been pretty much given has been able to kind of form the music today.
So you being in the house, you were able to not overthink the music?
Yeah.
Is that where the title comes from? Don't overthink it?
It's something I do a lot. I kind of go back and go in circles in my mind trying to figure out what to decide to do. But yeah, all the time with yourself, it kind of taught me to just be honest and just trust your first opinion or your first guess. It taught me a lot of trusting myself and believing in myself.
So, being said, tell us more about the EP in itself and the process of how you started to create.
Mm-hmm. Well, the project, it really took me deciding, like, hey, I texted Steve-O and I was like, I want to put a project together. And I took maybe a day looking at the songs that I had that I'd written over the past 2 years. And it really just summed up to me saying, this is what I want to do, and I have the songs, and I just want to put it out in the world, and not being afraid of myself. Don't overthink it, for me, is a note to self to trust myself, believe in myself, and believe in my talents, and to not really overthink my talents, and to not be so hard on myself at the same time, because I feel like I'm my own worst enemy, and I should be able to trust myself a little bit more. So it's basically a note to self.
Absolutely. So, and one thing I've noticed when people name certain projects, a lot of times people just assume that you've already gotten past the overthinking, but it's almost like the therapy of the issue that you have, in a sense. So that's awesome. I'm really excited to actually hear some of your music tonight.
Thank you.
And before we actually cut to that, what do you want people to take away tonight from your EP, from your performance, from even you as an artist?
I've learned recently that life opens up to you when you open up to it. And I feel like a lot of the things that I've been so grateful to receive in my life has been me being honest with myself and honest with the people around me. So vulnerability really takes you a long way, and it's all a part of the journey of being human and being a happier person.
Art bar, little bitch.